and Johan Grunlo. A couple of players from Europe, first years in their program, will jump it up. Vesar gets in there, but Grunlo wins the tip for the Virginia Cavaliers. It's a North Carolina team that's really good at just about everything offensively, as Young misses at three, rebounded by Trimble. His stick back will go. Seth Trimble, the only player who was in this game last year, is still on one of these two rosters with the opening bucket. And then Wilson's rejection right to De Ridder for the first UVA two. Vesar too strong against one of the best shot blockers in the nation in Grunlo. Here's De Ridder. Good for three. ACC road games, all losses.
And more importantly, they've allowed their opponents to shoot 54.3% in those three losses on the road as Condensed comes in.
Again, they're the second best shot blocking team in the country, only behind Georgia. Onyensu with the ball now. He's really developed on this side of the floor as well. And he finishes. Malik Thomas kicks it. Lewis sticks it.
Who played 11 years in the NBA, just mentioned that performance by Rich was the best shooting performance he's ever seen as North Carolina comes up with the steal and Bogavac steps in, knocking down the three ball.
On the floor for UVA, Mallory, the dynamic freshman from Charlottesville, finds White, whose shot is blocked from three by Wilson. Ends up in the hands of Lewis, three to shoot. Lewis goes into Wilson. 5 minutes gone by, a 5-point Virginia lead. Derek Dixon, true freshman point guard, sets up Vesar, rattles it in.
As Vesar.
Vesar 48%. Now 26 out of 53. Onyensu finishes over Vesar. This is second.
Because the depth is not great for North Carolina on the front line.
How about this, Corey? Wilson hasn't taken a shot yet. Against Devin Tillis, Wilson will muscle it in.
But Wilson's not used to not seeing that extra defender when he catches the basketball on the block. Now navigating one-on-one and has had success.
And it's stripped away from White. Wilson running the floor. And the nation's dunk leader.
Whether he has the ball in his hands or not, this time catching it. One dribble, the sweep over the top.
Back-to-back buckets for Wilson to tie the game. Here's Tillis leaning in off the window. Onyensu sticks it back, and he's got an early six. I'm seeing that early from the first-year player. Hall driving. Nice finish. Down Hall, the BYU transfer.
Hall, a very good rebounding guard, had 12 rebounds versus Louisville last week. And now gets Virginia another possession. And off the top, when you get that extra possession.
Had rallied to tie it. Here's Bogavac off of Wilson's screen, and he buries his second triple.
Bogavac, who was 2 of 9 against Notre Dame on Wednesday.
Down with his third rebound.
And Virginia has numbers. Caleb Wilson is gassed. They didn't recognize Chance Mallory open on the opposite side.
Mallory now a contested three. Who needs to be open? De Ridder has the size advantage against Trimble. On the back down, De Ridder got it.
De Ridder can take smaller guys.
A drive and a finish. St. Louis has 7. The 6'7" junior. Here's Wilson facing up into Tillis. Leans in and scores it. Caleb with 6.
And Caleb Wilson getting to play one-on-one.
Mallory drives it. Searching for an outlet. Now rolls back into Powell and finishes. Recruitment after Tony Bennett retired before last year, but recommitted to Ryan Odom. And boy, where would they be without Chance Mallory? Wilson, a tough jumper for Caleb Wilson, who's leading the way with 8 for UNC.
Pointing to get the basketball to him on the block so he can make a play.
He found Vesar out of the double, so he has started to take over the game, Caleb Wilson. Back to Tillis. Hall wanted it in the corner. He gets it in the corner, and he missed it in the corner. And look at Jakari White. He outmuscles Trimble. Tillis will take a 3. Boy, did Virginia deserve that.
3 opportunities. But both these guys are playmakers, number 1 and 2 respectively in the ACC in assist to turnover ratio.
De Ridder grabs his own miss, puts it in high off the window. 13 protects De Ridder.
for decades. And right now, the Cavaliers giving the Tar Heels a taste of their old medicine.
Hall defended Trimble well. Thomas bangs it home right in the face of Bogavac. Trimble, 1 minute to go in the first half, dominated by the home side of Charlottesville. Bogavac buries a step back. He has kept Carolina around with 3 threes.
Which forces Wilson to get rid of the basketball. And right now, North Carolina looking discombobulated on the offensive end until Seth Trimble bails them out with the 3 ball.
It's all
in 5. Seth Trimble with the step back, able to knock down the 3 ball.
Trimble hits his first 3 of the game, leads down to 8. Grunlow got position on Vesar, finishes over Vesar, and Grunlow has 6. Carolina along the perimeter. The freshman Derek Dixon into the corner. Trimble, same spot and same result.
Back-to-back 3s by Trimble.
Offensive rebound. De Ridder, no. Offensive rebound again. Grunlow smothered by Vesar. It stays with Virginia, and De Ridder on the 4th shot of the possession. Have we said that before?
On the glass.
Dixon, 1-foot shot for Derek Dixon will go.
And Derek Dixon telling his teammates to box out, pointing out Vesar and Wilson.
Young with a strip and steal. Ahead to Dixon against Hall. Dixon, Wilson, slam! And here comes Carolina within 5.
To be a leader, but you know I've always been vocal, so it's never been a challenge.
Hard to believe. Dixon off the window. Wilson tips it to Vesar, and North Carolina's on a 19-6 run. The Tar Heels have pulled within 3.
And it all started at the end of the first half, knocking down those back-to-back 3s to make it a single-digit game.
Thomas will answer with a big-time triple. 6-point lead. 4 minutes gone by in the second half. Dixon finds himself alone. Dixon sticks another 3.
But a breakdown in pick-and-roll coverage on that possession, allowing Dixon to have a wide-open look.
Hall driving. Hall with a good finish. Back-to-back buckets for Virginia to stem the tide. Bogavac in the paint. Bogavac with a smooth touch cuts the lead to 1.
Bogavac playing with great confidence on the road at 22 years old. He's one of the veterans on this group.
White blue by Wilson on the switch, and Jakari White is the 9th Virginia player to score. And then Wilson runs the floor. Powell secures the rebound. Dixon again, eyes up, finds Stevenson. Derek Dixon with his 5th assist and Jarin Stevenson's first basket.
Advancing on the pass.
For UNC against a Virginia team that's one of the best defensive teams in the nation. Dallin Hall with an offhand answer. Good all-around game for Hall, who's got 6 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists.
And Dallin Hall's been able to find his way to the rim as Derek Dixon continues to find his way.
Double-figure game for Dixon. 3rd straight game he's done that. Sam Lewis gets in the paint and scores it. 63-62. And the Virginia students starting to make a little more noise. Trimble floats it home. Vesar into Stevenson. Again has the size mismatch with Hall, doing his best to body him, and Stevenson just sticks a turnaround in his face.
I'm sure there are some people that would challenge that, and I'm sure Kingston would be up for the challenge.
Yes. Onyensu back on the floor. No ill effects after the injury that knocked him out. Onyensu. Lewis gives it to Mallory. The freshman spark plug ties the game at 67.
The hometown kid getting the job done. Everybody on their feet because chance will make you dance.
Seth De Ridder with 7 to shoot. Guarded by Vesar. De Ridder puts his head down and gets it to go. UVA is back on top. 69-67, and De Ridder has 17. Wilson guarded by Onyensu. Comes over to set the screen. Dixon for Stevenson. That 3 is good. Here's Wilson. Operating against Onyensu. Scores it. Boy, those were 3 quick moves. Rat-a-tat-tat. Here's Bogavac off a screen. Gives it to Stevenson. He's been the man in the second half, and he scores to tie the game, plus a foul. Off. Mallory back on the floor for Virginia. De Ridder gets it to him. Mallory, no good. Big rebound for Wilson. Trimble. Trimble going all the way, and he scores it with a foul. Seth Trimble attacking.
Glass. They have tested Virginia's transition defense, which has not been up to snuff here.
11 turnovers for UVA, only 4 for UNC. Dixon with a kickback. Stevenson, yes, sir!
Allowing Jarin Stevenson to knock down another three.
Jarin Stevenson with the second half of his life, and Thomas with a much-needed answer. Timeout, Virginia. And his Tar Heels lead by 4, closing in on the final minutes of play. Dixon into the paint. Dixon with a tough shot off balance, easily blocked by Grunlow. Here's Dallin Hall for UVA. 4-point game. Hall driving. Hall scores it. Right around Bogavac to cut the lead to 2. Dixon guarded tightly by Dallin Hall. Over to Caleb Wilson. Wilson, long steps, off the backboard and good. Caleb Wilson.
It's again a great play design to get Caleb Wilson with a head of steam.
It's Derek Dixon. How appropriately the North Carolina Tar Heels get their signature win of the season, 85-80 at Virginia.